I have been a civil rights and employment lawyer for 30 years. And one of the things that we were talking about at the Public Works Committee meeting is how few Norwalkers end up working on construction projects that are run by the city. Because even though we have an ordinance that says you're supposed to encourage local hiring, we don't actually do it. And the head of DPW said, well, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to build a workplace that's representative of the diversity and the culture of your citizens, of your applicants, of your community. It takes a special outreach. It takes a special awareness. It takes affirmatively going out to those that are disconnected and alienated to encourage them to be part of the process. There are strategies that are used by cities and towns across the United States to do just that, and we do not do them here. We will under a Miklave administration. We will go out of our way to recruit the best and the brightest, the best talent that reflects the culture, the history, the diversity, and the heritage of our community. And that is not a commitment I am making in this campaign. That is a commitment I have lived my life doing.
I'll take a drink of water before I say. You know, I have a history. 17 years police chief, and I have a history of being an advocate of minority recruitment within the city of Norwalk Police Department, because I firmly believe that in order for the city police department to properly and fairly serve the community that it serves, that they have to represent what our city demographics are. Under Mayor Knott, we had actually out of the top 4 people, 3 were of color for the rank of sergeant. There were no openings. But I went to Mayor Knott and I said to him, we have an opportunity here that we may not have for quite some time. And Mayor Knott said to me, you're right. And we promoted 4 people, even though there were no openings for the rank of sergeant, because we knew they were good people who worked hard, who earned the right to be promoted, but because the list was about to expire, they probably would not have been promoted. So that is a proven history of what I believe we need to do in Norwalk. We need to work together to encourage people of color, to encourage them. We have plenty of people of color who are very talented, who want to help, they just need the opportunity. I will look to the Democratic Party to bring me people who want to serve, to make recommendations. I firmly believe that everybody in this room will partner with me, will partner and say, let's bring diversity to all boards, all commissions. Let's finally put an end to the good old boy club where everybody just does give away political favors. I have no agenda. I have no political favors to give away. I want people of diversity because that will bring confidence in my administration.
Thank you. Practice. When it comes to diversity, practice makes perfect. And for those of you that were at the debate last Friday, I encourage you just to think back at each person's table and how they were represented. Our table over at Norwalk's Future Now section, we were represented with the great diversity of our city. Old, young, African Americans, Hispanics, women. And if we look at the way that our culture is now in this administration, and we look at how our city is represented, you would think this is Darien over here, because there's not that diversity celebrated here in our community. So in my administration, you got to keep in mind something too. I was brought up in a city. Oftentimes in the classroom in public school, I was the minority in the classroom. Frankly, I was surrounded. I grew up with African Americans and Hispanics, played Little League with those kids. I grew up with them. Their culture is my culture in many ways. So believe you me, that when I'm fortunate enough to be elected mayor of this city, that we will have proper representation, finally, of African Americans and Hispanics and Latinos and every other good qualified person that can bring something to the table to celebrate the diversity of our city so that people like them that are outside can see somebody that they can relate to on the inside and inspire folks to get involved. And I think that's the great thing about this campaign and my candidacy, because I'm the one that brings that to the table in spades. Thank you.
I'm not trying to paint a picture of a campaign that has diversity. Norwalk has diversity on its own. When I took office as town clerk, one of the first things I saw the necessity of was hiring bilingual employees. We had a Latino community that we could not speak to. We had a Haitian community that we could not communicate with. We had young mothers who had a child coming in to try to get a birth certificate. They had no idea how to talk to us, how to communicate with us. It was imperative that we had staff in City Hall that was bilingual. Made sure of that. My staff last year was made up of a diverse group. The city is diverse. The culture is diverse. I went to public school here. There was no white gloves anywhere for me. I grew up with whites, blacks, Latinos, gay, lesbians. Even at a young age, I knew about that. There is diversity. We have people in the community that want help. We have to have the open arms to let them come in. And again, I reach across the aisle not to just Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, but the cultural diversity of our city. I've worked with them in the community organizations, whether it was the church serving Thanksgiving breakfasts, whether it's the Exchange Club handing out flags to kids, raising money so that we can give scholarships to seeing eye dogs. I've worked in the community. I've been out there. I know the diversity. I work well with all of those people. And of course, those folks, everyone will have a seat at the table, whether it's labor, whether it's economic diversity, or whether it's color or race or ethnicity.